Hello and welcome back to my stamp studio. So I'm here today with another holiday class to go card kit. I'm using the Gnome for the Holiday stamp set on page 23 of the Holiday Mini Catalog. I have quickly fallen in love with this little set. And if you haven't found it, look at it in the catalog. It's kind of hidden up at the top of the page, and because it's a little bit smaller set, I think sometimes the eye just kind of gazes over it. But it's a little set of 8. It is a cling mount stamp set, and it has these adorable little 3 gnomes here. Also a nice cute little tree trunk tree house for them. And then the sentiments in this set kind of play on the word gnome. There's no place like Gnome for the Christmas season. You're a friend like Gnome Other, A Little Christmas Wish, and Holly Jolly Everything. So I just think this is an adorable little set. So let me show you the kit cards that I have for this Class to Go kit. I have this one here and this one here. So I've stamped on the envelopes and colored the little figures with blends, and then I just kind of flecked the envelopes just to give them a little bit of extra something. This card is kind of plain and simple, but these cute little gnomes with their little tree house and a cute little tree back here decorated with some rhinestones on it, which I think is really cute. Then I really loved this bundle, this stamp set with the snow globes. I kind of made this cute little snow globe card. I'm going to try and hold this so you can see it a little bit better. But one little guy fits in there with their little tree house, and then I managed to squeeze in 2 little Christmas trees in there too. So again, we'll include photos with my video and my post today, so you'll be able to see a photo of it. But I just love this as a little shaker card too. Okay, so these are the 2 cards that I have for this Class to Go card kit. I just fell in love with these little gnomes as a shaker card. So stinking cute. But I debated whether to use this stamp set as a Class to Go kit because it's only a $19 stamp set, which is not the price point I need to offer my Class to Go card kits for free. So I'm changing this Class to Go card kit up a bit and offering 2 options. Let me talk about these options with you. All right, so I'm going to push the cards over to the side here just a little bit. For option 1, I'm bundling the Gnome for the Holidays stamp set with the Snow Globe Scenes dies, which are on page 182 of the annual catalog. This allows you not only make even more of these stinking cute, unique gnome shaker cards, but you will also have them to pull out any time of year to impress people with an any occasion card with a twist. Okay, we used these a lot last year. People really enjoyed them, so if you did not pick them up, I would encourage you to do so with this unique bundle that I've created for this Class to Go card kit. All right, the dies are sold alone, and really serve as an alone product, I think. Not only do you have the cutout here to make the snow globe much easier to create, you have some beautiful bases. The church can be punched out in some beautiful glitter paper for inside the snow globe, as well as this gorgeous reindeer here. The trees we used a lot last year, and the adorable little polar bears. Now this little die here actually does coordinate with the stamp set that we used these dies with the most last year, and that's the Still Scenes Cling Mount stamp set. Again, a nice addition to anybody's stamp stash, especially if you were picking up these dies and wanted some more options. So I also love the sentiments in this. May the timeless message of Christmas fill your heart and home with joy today and always. This season greetings, which I used a lot. A little design element of snow, and then of course this gorgeous base for the snow globe stamp itself. Then this little cottage with the trees here is the one that actually coordinates with that die down here that I was just referring to. Okay, but for my Class to Go, option 1 would be the bundling of the Gnome for the Holidays Cling Mount stamp set with the Snow Globe Scenes dies. Okay, this would be option 1. Now, option 2 would be for the people who already own these dies, okay? It was very popular last year. I know that many of you picked it up and have it in your stamp stash already. So for option 2, I have selected some products that I not only am using in the kit cards, so you could make more, but I also think they are great products for anyone's stamp stash for holiday card creating. So in addition to the Gnome for the Holidays stamp set, you would receive a pack of Heartwarming Hugs DSP, an entire pack, 12 by 12. There's 2 sheets of each of these designs. I have enjoyed this paper very much. It's just your basic red and green for the holidays, but it has some beautiful different prints in there. I particularly like this little gingham check here, and then there's 2 others that we're going to use, I've used in the kit cards here I can show. And then the back sides of these, again, just a nice basic red and green print. Works beautifully on cards, I think gift tags, gift card holders, just a nice basic holiday designer series paper. In addition to the paper and the stamp set then, you would receive a pack of rhinestone basic jewels. You would receive a spool of the real red braided linen trim. And then, because you already have the dies, you would receive a snow globe shaker dome box of 10, okay? So these are all the products for option 2, okay? And if you have any questions about any of this, I've listed all this with the details in my post today. But if you have any questions, feel free to get a hold of me, okay? So, I have my holiday music playing in the background today, if you can hear it, so we can all get in this festive holiday mood. So if you're wondering how you can receive these Class to Go card kits for free and what's included, you simply need to purchase one of the 2 options I just talked about. No other purchase is necessary. With the purchase of one of those options, you will receive my free Class to Go card kit, which includes supplies needed to create 2 of each of these cards. So a total of 4 cards. You will receive enough pre-cut scored cardstock, papers, embellishment, ribbons, and envelopes to complete the kit cards. Now, because everyone has different stamp stashes, you may not have some of the products I'm using in these kit cards. So I offer many additional products and what I call an add-on list. You can receive a 10% discount on these add-on items with the purchase of an option for this Class to Go card kit. I will do my best to mention these add-on items with my video today, but they are also listed with this post. It's important to point out here, though, that the 10% discount will only be available when you send me your order. I must place it for you. It's the only way I can give you the discount. I do need to charge a $4 postage fee, which covers my mailing of the card kit to you. Your Stampin' Up! Products will be shipped directly to you from Stampin' Up! Once you have all your stamping supplies, you're ready to simply sit and stamp with this video as your guide. The kit does all the creativity for you, and you get to stamp in the comfort and safety of your home. If you're interested in ordering one of my options for the Gnome for the Holidays card kit, contact me via email or message me here on Facebook. You will find all those details of how to order in my post along with the ordering dates. But if you have any questions, please let me know. Now also, as I previously stated, with the pandemic, I am unable to hold in-person classes safely, but still want to give all of you a chance to create handmade cards this year. It's so important for all our family and friends to know that despite social distancing, which we all should still be doing as much as possible as our COVID numbers are crazy. That's my public plea to everyone in case you missed it. But receiving a holiday handmade card is really a great way to show someone you miss them or are thinking of them. I have been offering additional to-go packets of 6 cards for $12 on all my Class to Go kits. You get to choose the cards, and then you will have plenty to send out. A to-go packet has all the supplies of a class-to-go kit. All the pre-cut, scored cardstock and papers, embellishments, ribbons, and an envelope to complete 6 cards for an additional $12. I do need to charge an additional postage if you do not live in the local Iowa City area. Okay? With all that said, again, if you have any questions, let me know. But let's get to stamping. So I think today I'm actually going to start out with this one here. When you receive your class-to-go card kit, you would receive a kit with supplies that look like this, in addition to an envelope, okay? Our card base for this card is Smoky Slate, and it is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Go ahead and give myself a nice crisp fold line there. You will also have 3 pieces of 4 by 5 1/4 Whisper White, okay? One of them will be for your inside piece, and I've gone ahead and stamped one of the greetings from this stamp set, Holly, Jolly, everything in it. And you will also have a piece of Designer Series paper, just a little strip here, that I thought was fun to add to the inside. So I'm just going to take my multi-purpose glue, just a little bit there, and go ahead and place that maybe in a little different place than we have done in the past, but I thought it looked really cute right up here underneath the sentiment, okay? The strip may be a little long, so all you need to do is flip it over and trim off your extra, okay? All right, then I'm going to go ahead and take my Stampin' Seal and give myself 2 little strips, and we'll go ahead and attach this to the inside. Just love this paper, and like I said, if you want option 2, you would get a pack of this paper. So cute. Now, the other piece one other piece of the 4 by 5 1/4 Whisper White, I have actually run through an embossing folder. I ran it through the Wrapped in Textured Embossing Folder Combo Pack, and I've been using this a lot on my holiday cards. I just think these are the sweetest little embossing folders and make such a great little backdrop for cards. These would be an additional add-on item to this class, okay? So you could get those for a 10% off discount. Now I'm going to go ahead and flip this over, and I'm going to place some dimensionals in the 4 corners. And go ahead and place this on my card base. Just centered top to bottom, side to side there, okay? All right, now we're ready to stamp. So your other 4 by 5 1/4 piece is your stamping piece, okay? So these cute little stamps in this set, let's pull those in. So I actually, for this card, I need the 2 little boy gnomes. I also need the little girl gnome. We're just going to isolate and use this cute Christmas tree that's up on top of her head. So sweet and cute. And then also the little tree house image that's in this stamp set as well. I'm just going to be using my Memento black ink pad to ink these up. And I'm just going to make sure that I space these enough that I can get all 4 of them on here. I'm just going to stick her up over here on the side. Again, remember, we're only going to be using the tree off of her. And then I think this little guy will fit down here perfectly. So once you have all of your images stamped there, we are going to use blends to color these, all right? I will include all these colors of blends as add-on items to this class. So if you do not have blends, it's a great time to pick some up. If you already have blends and some of them are seeing some wear and aren't working the best, these are all considered a disposable marker, so you use them for a period of time and then they do need to be replaced, so this would be a good opportunity for you to do that. So basically I went in and colored all of these, and I'm not going to take time in this video to do that. All of you, I have picked some very fun, beautiful colors. You will see the sample card in the picture on this video. And so you can choose the colors you want to color things in, okay? Once you have them all colored in, you need to fussy cut them. And I don't want people to freak out about fussy cutting. I know I have some people out there that do not like doing it. I know I have some people out there who love doing it. This card in particular and these little gnomes do not have to be perfectly cut out. I think a little rustic cut on some of them is actually okay. But let me give you a couple tips on fussy cutting, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to cut that tree right off the top of our little girl gnome there, okay? And I'm going to hold my right hand that has the scissors in it in one position. I'm not moving that hand at all. What I am moving is the paper. And this is a nice quick tip for people who struggle with fussy cut. When you move the paper, you're able to guide it exactly where you want. Okay? You don't, and it's less likely to tear or bend your paper too. Okay? Now notice as I'm going around, there's some of the little ball ornaments on this particular stamp image that are hanging off some of the branches, but I'm kind of ignoring them and I'm just cutting them off. Okay? We're going to use some rhinestones in our final project, and those are going to be our little balls for this project. Okay? So there I have colored that in, or cut that out, very simple and easy. Okay? So I just think it's very relaxing too, and so I really don't mind doing it. I think the end project is well worth it. Okay? All right, so now for the sake of time, I have already colored all those stamps in, and I have fussy cut those out. Okay? And here they are. Aren't they adorable? All right, so I also have in your kit a little small white strip that you're going to stamp the sentiment, "There's no place like Gnome" for the Christmas season on. And then you'll also have a piece of silver metallic cardstock in that we'll be using here in just a minute. Now there's one other piece, and it is one of our Fluid 100 watercolor papers. And we need to create a little background for these guys, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and bring in my blotter behind here. And I'm also going to bring one of our clear blocks, which has a drop of Balmy Blue, a drop of Pear Pizzazz, and a drop of Early Espresso ink refill on. I'm also going to bring in Stampin' Up's water painters. You've seen these. I've been using these quite a bit lately. They come in a pack of 3. The inkers and the water painters would be an additional add-on item to this class. I love that you get 3 different tips with these. The one that has quickly become one of my favorites is the one that is like a paintbrush, because it really allows us to give the watercolor paper just this watercolor wash, okay? So I'm going to go along each one of these ink refills, and I'm going to squeeze until I get a drop of water to drop down on each of these, okay? And this is really key to this watercolor wash look, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and just rub some water over my paper here lightly. Dip into my blue now. Maybe get some of the extra off here on my blotter. And then just kind of go back and forth and give me just a little hint of that blue color, okay? Just like that. As you can see, you don't need much ink. Just 1 drop is all you need. I'm going to take my painter on an old towel that I have here in my stamp room, squeeze it a couple times to get that blue out, and then I'm going to come in here and do the same thing with the green. Okay? Then lightly just watercolor, just like that. Okay? Just like that. Same thing, squeeze out your painter to clean it off. Okay? Now I'm going to reach into my water painters and I'm going to actually grab the smallest paintbrush. There's a medium-sized paintbrush in there as well, but now I want this little small fine tip. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and move my inkers away here. I still have my chocolate early espresso ink here as the last dot. But I'm going to pull in a box that I've been using a lot lately to give this little piece of watercolor paper a fleck. And it's basically just a box I grabbed from my garage. I threw a couple paper towels in the bottom of it there, and now I have thrown my project in there. I'm going to go ahead and squeeze out some water, and I'm going to dip over here into my early espresso, and then I'm going to take this and I'm just going to flick it. Okay, I'm going to take my finger here and I'm just going to tap it right there onto the painter, and what you're going to get is some flecks. Now, we used to do this with the early espresso marker. Most of my markers are dried out. I have to admit, they're older. And the other day, I looked up in the Stampin' UP catalog and I realized that you can't buy early espresso individually. And so I was like, how am I going to get this fleck look? Well, this smallest water painter dipped in this early espresso re-inker right here is a perfect way. And this is how I did the envelopes for this card as well. Okay? So, a nice new way to be able to get this fleck look, which I know we all really like. It just adds a lot sometimes to the project that we're doing. Now, I could have done that first. I would suggest when you're doing your cards that you do it first. Otherwise, I can take my heat gun here and I can just come in and hit it to make sure that those are all dry before I touch them or try to layer anything on top of it. Okay? And they're small. They don't take long to dry. If you find that your paper starts to arch or curve, remember you can flip it over and you can heat it from the back side, which really helps it flatten out. Okay, so let's bring our card base back in here and begin building our card. All right, so I have my watercolor piece here that I am going to go ahead and pop up on 4 dimensionals here. And then this just gets placed over towards the right side of your card here and up a little bit because we want to leave room for our sentiment to be along this bottom edge. Okay. The next thing we're going to attach is this cute little tree. And I have played around with this so much, I've given it all different colored doors. I think my favorite door is the blue, just so you know. But I like it all ways. All colors, I guess I should say, not always. We're going to attach that there. The next thing I want to attach is my cute little Christmas tree, which I've gone ahead and just attached some of our rhinestone jewels to after coloring it, I think with Old Olive on this one. And this is going to just get set right over here outside their little house. Now, the good thing about this glue is I can gently peel things up. I'm looking at my placement here, and I think that my tree needs to be more, really pretty much the center here. Sorry about that. And then I can bring my tree up here as well too. I need room for my cute little gnome over here. Okay. All right, so I'm going to use this little gnome, and I'm going to go ahead and I am going to attach some dimensionals. I'm going to use a larger one down here on his body, and then I'm going to take one of our mini dimensionals to put up here over or on the back side of his hat. And I used some scrap paper here. You can see that there's some inking on the back of that. but he's going to get placed right here. Just love these guys. They're just adorable. And if you can't, he has a little jingle bell hanging from his hat there. This one here that I'm about to attach, I'm doing it the same way with a larger dimensional down on his body and then a small dimensional behind his hat. This one is probably my favorite gnome right here. And I actually kind of like these guys when they're going off the edge of that watercolor piece. I think that looks really cute to have them off the edge there. But I just love this little striped hat. I like it in red and white. I did that on the envelope. And I like it with the red and the green. Here it is with the red and white, almost like a candy cane stripe. So cute. Now for our sentiment, the strip I give you might just be just a titch long, so go ahead and take your snips. And I just give this a nice straight cut on each end here. And again, I'm going to pop that up on some dimensionals. And that's just going to get placed. You know what we might be able to do before we attach this? Let's put a little strip of adhesive there. And I'm just going to kind of smear that around with my finger for lack of anything else right now. And place my strip of silver metallic there. Just like that. If you want to turn it over, it might work a little better as well. I think one of my dimensionals is just a little low, so I'm going to go ahead and move it up or completely take it off and we'll add a new one. There we go. Now, if your silver strip is just a little longer than you want, you can go ahead and take it and trim it off as well, or you could leave it long if you prefer. And then this is going to just get placed right here at the bottom edge, which I think is super sweet there. That little bit of silver just kind of plays off of the rhinestones, I think, and then just adds, I love with the smoky slate, just a little bit of silver to make it holiday-ish, okay? So here's the first card that goes with this Class to Go card kit. All right, so on to our second card, which is the fun snow globe card. So let me get ready here. When you receive your card kit in the mail, it will be these supplies here, along with an envelope, of course. Our base is garden green, again, cut 8.5 by 5.5 and scored at 4 1/4. You will also receive with this card 3 4 by 5 1/4 pieces of Whisper White. One of them you will use to stamp on the inside for the greeting. And like the other one, I went ahead and included another strip of DSP because I just liked the way that looked on the inside of these little cards. I just love how this paper looks with this stamp set too. So I'm just going to go ahead and place that right up here underneath my sentiment. Remember that with the multi-purpose glue, you have just a little bit of time to kind of move things around if you need to. If it's just a titch long on one side or both, go ahead and trim that little extra off. I take my Stampin' seal, and then this is the inside of our card. Okay, just like that. Now, I am going to go ahead and save one of my Whisper White 4 by 5 1/4 pieces that will be a layering piece, but I don't want to attach that yet, okay? I'm going to set those aside. You're going to have another 4 by 5 1/4 piece of Whisper White that you're going to use as your stamping piece, okay? You're going to need for this card two of our little girl gnome. And then the one gnome that has the little hat with snowflakes on it, not the striped hat one. This is the one that fits the best in the shaker cards I've found. So this is the one you're going to need to stamp. And then again, we're going to stamp their cute little house. So this piece should be plenty big for you to be able to do all this stamping on. Okay. Now, like before, too, you're going to spend a relaxing time coloring, again, with all these blends. And I didn't go through the colors of these before. Real Red, Pool Party, Night of Navy. This is Daffodil Delight, Old Olive, Granny Apple Green, Crumb Cake, Soft Suede, and Petal Pink, okay? Now, I didn't really talk about colors. I feel like I picked a nice array of colors for you to use on your project and use as you wish. The Petal Pink is in here to color their skin. So when it comes time to color their nose or even their hands, the dark Petal Pink works beautifully for that, okay? Let me bring in my other sample and you can kind of see, maybe. It just gives them a little fleshy color, which I think is really cute. All right, so again, you would color these in as you like with the color options of blenders here that are part of this Class to Go card kit. For the sake of time, once again, I've already colored them in and I've cut them out. Now, I cut the tree out just a little different for this card. I want more of the little rock path and more of the foreground, okay? I'm going to cut some of this off, but not all of it off, all right? Now, in your kit, you will receive a piece of designer series paper that measures 4 by 5 1/4, and you'll take that larger shaker dome die and center it to the top portion of your DSP and run that through your Stampin' Cut and Die machine and punch that out, okay? And then you'll end up with 2 pieces. We're going to use both these pieces. This piece is going to get layered here on the front of your card base. And this piece I'm going to flip over because our beautiful DSP, of course, has 2 sides, and I don't want to not use both sides. I think that's gorgeous. So it also gives us a nice little piece here to build on, all right? So the first piece I'm going to attach is the treehouse. There are some pieces, or some parts of it, as you can see, that are going to overhang a little bit. We're going to trim those off. We do not want those to overhang. So I'm just going to line this up and guide this just exactly where I want it. I do want these little trees up here to show. So I'm going to place it just so that I make sure that those little trees are there at the top. Okay? I'm going to take my multi-purpose glue, put a little bit on the back side of it, and go ahead and place that so that my leaves up there at the top are within my shaker dome die cutout. Okay, go ahead and press firmly, make sure this is all down. Now I'm going to take my snips and I'm going to come around, sometimes from the back side you can see this better, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trim off all those extra little pieces here. Okay, just like that. Okay, and it doesn't interfere at all with our project at all. All right, I do see a little bit over here too of that I'm going to trim off there. Okay, so let's continue to keep building our scene. I really like these little Christmas trees. They just fit so perfectly with a little scene for these gnomes. I'm going to go ahead and put it kind of up here by the front door, making sure that none of it is overhanging our die cut out here. The next one I want to put on is our gnome, and I'm going to attach him just like I did the gnomes on the other card. I'm going to use a larger dimensional here at the bottom and a mini dimensional here at the top for his hat. And this guy is really the only gnome that fits. The other ones are a little big and a little tall. So if you place his feet right at the bottom edge of your die here, the top will fit perfectly, that little top of his hat with that bell. Now his beard's hanging over just a little bit. So I'm going to take my snips again and I'm going to trim that off to make nice and flush edge along the bottom, okay? Now that's not going to show because we're doing a shaker card, so our snow and glitter will be covering up the bottom portion of this. Now I thought when I did this, this is all I was going to do, but it looked a little plain over here, so I decided to add another little Christmas tree over on this side. So I'm going to take my multi-purpose glue, a little bit there, and attach it over here. It can be even at a little angle if it needs to be. Try not to cover up any of those cute rhinestones, but just make sure that it's within your die cutout here, your shaker dome die cutout. You don't want anything overhanging the perimeter of that. Okay? All right, and here we have our little die cut. Now I'm going to take that piece of Whisper White, and I want to attach this, our little scene, right down onto it, and I want to center it as much as I can, okay? And to achieve that, I'm going to pull over my DSP, because my DSP is cut perfectly with just a 1/4 inch border around it, and that way I know that I am centered pretty nice. Now if you wanted to take a pencil and mark this way, you certainly could, so that way you knew that he was in the right spot. But what I do is just kind of hold it with one hand here while I pick up my DSP. Hold it with the other hand while I pull that DSP out so that it doesn't move, okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hold it with one hand here as I pick up a corner of it and throw a little bit of multi-purpose glue behind it. Turn it over maybe, come over here and do just a little bit more multi-purpose glue on that side. And if you wanted to take a few seconds before your multi-purpose glue dries, you can check it because you still have just a little time to kind of shift and move it if you need to. I think we're in pretty good shape there though. Right there, okay? Just keep pressing it, making sure that that glue is spreading out and making sure that it's adhering to your Whisper White piece there, okay? Now, I need a shaker dome. Remember, they come in boxes of 10, which I think is a really good deal. These would be an add-on item to this class. And they're great for holidays, but they have been working beautifully for any occasion. Birthday cards or a nice little surprise anniversary card or that kind of thing too. So just don't think of them for Christmas. I'm going to go ahead. I have this ready here. That's all I wanted to make sure I had it here. And then I'm going to pull in some Stampin' Glitter and some of the Stampin' Snowflake sequins. Now, disclosure here, neither one of these are available. These are left over from last year. I wasn't going to use them in this class, but I decided to anyway because I feel like glitter and sequins are both kind of a staple for a lot of stampers' stashes. And so I'm going to use them. I am sure that all of you have something you could substitute, some glitter or some little fun sequins of some sort that you could put in your little gnome snow globe. So I'm going to take the glitter first. And I have just a nice little measuring, it's a pinch measuring spoon that I have in the kitchen. I just love this for this. Just take and put carefully and gently 1, 2 on there of the glitter. And then all the little snowflake sequins, I'm going to go ahead and just add 1 of those. Okay? It doesn't take a lot. And in fact, in all honesty, I'll tell you, when I did my very first card, I went kind of crazy and I put a lot in. And if you put too much in, you cover up your scene, okay? You're going to cover up your little gnome, you're going to cover up the house, and you're not going to see your cute little scene. So don't go crazy and do too much, all right? So then I'm going to take my pick a tool here, and on the back side of my dome, I'm going to take and place it right in here. It just helps me get that sticker off there, okay? It's a nice way to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and gently place this down over my little stamped scene. And I find that if you match up the top edge Sometimes you have a little bit of a gap at the bottom edge, but it's okay. Okay, it's better to match it up at the top. I'm going to take my thumb and work my way around the whole thing to make sure that that sticks on there beautifully. Then I'm going to take my paper piercer tool again from my Pick-a tool and work off a sticker that is on the top side of our domes to get it started to be able to peel it off there. Okay. Now I'm going to take that piece of designer series paper and I'm going to lay that over the top, and I don't have a lot of wiggle room with it because it obviously fits directly over the top of that shaker dome, but you have a little bit of wiggle room. I suggest that you start on one side here, work your way around, and then just gently continue to work it till it's all the way around that way. Now, I'm looking a little crooked here, okay? I thought I had that measured nicely, so maybe a pencil line is a good idea. But I'm going to pull in my paper trimmer, and I'm going to trim some of this off so that if this happens to you, I want you to have a way to be able to solve it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to, whoops, I guess with my dome, I'm not going to be able to do the top edge, am I? The side. The only way you'd be able to do is the bottom edge, I guess. So we're going to take some scissors here, and we're going to trim up the edge here. So, lesson learned here in my video, a pencil line is probably not a bad idea. I almost went and grabbed one when I was doing it, but then I get to go in here and I don't. Okay, I think we're going to be okay on this side. Maybe just a little bit off this edge here. Okay, just like that. Remember, you can also take off some of the designer series paper too if you felt like you needed to trim that up a little bit as well. So I did not put adhesive on my designer series paper before I attach it around my globe because I don't want that to stick first and then be fighting that. So I wait until I'm done here, and really the only part I feel like needs adhesive is right down here at the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to give myself a little strip of adhesive there at the bottom. If you feel like you need a little bit more here at the top, you certainly can add some. And trim this just a little bit again. There we go. All right, so to attach that to my card now, I'm going to take and use dimensionals for that. Just 4, and it looks like my sheet's running out, so I'm going to sit here and trim myself off my edge there. Make sure you use all your dimensionals up. It's really, you can get a lot more from the perimeter if you trim those up. Okay, don't throw those away. Go ahead and place that on my card base, centered. Whoops, I'm getting ahead of myself, I'm going to peel this back up. Sorry. I want a little strip. I have another little strip of DSP here that I wanted to attach, and you'll have in your kit. And notice how I'm using that opposite side so that it shows up beautifully over the top of that other print. This just kind of finishes off the bottom, I think, of your snow globe there a little bit. And then I do have a piece of the Real Red trim that I just took Scotch tape and attached to the back sides here, right over that designer series paper. So go ahead and flip that over. Then I want to make sure that I have this straight, going straight across. And then you'll have another piece as well in your kit that you can make a bow out of. And I just used glue dots to attach that. Okay. And I just placed that right here on the left-hand bottom corner of our snow globe. There's also a little white strip in your kit, and it has a sentiment in the set, a little Christmas wish, and I just thought that looked really sweet here. So I'm going to go ahead and just give it a little bit of a flag cut on the end there, and kind of leave some extra on up here towards the top of it because it's going to get stuck kind of underneath your bow, and if you trim too much of it off, then your sentiment isn't going to show through your bow, okay? So I just put a glue dot on one end, and then it can just kind of hang there like that, like a little flag, okay? I'm going to go ahead and attach it to my garden green card base. Right like that, okay? And even though those are not perfectly straight, I think it's a pretty forgiving project for the most part, that you can be able to trim those edges up if you need to, okay? All right, so let me bring the other cards back in here. Just adorable, aren't they? Oh, so cute. Okay, where's my envelope? Here's my envelope. I love this envelope with this little red and white stripe hat. I think that's adorable. You will get 2 prints of paper with your kit as well, so you get to try out. I think they both look adorable with him. Okay, so cute. Got to shake him one more time for you. This is the one we just made, and I didn't even get to shake him up at all. Oh, so cute. I think anybody. Now, obviously, if you went to mail these, you'd need extra postage and a padded envelope for those. But also, they would be nice just to sneak into somebody's mailbox and be able to surprise them that way. So I just love this little stamp set. And gnomes are so trendy right now. I will post more projects that I created using this little stamp set soon. And I think you'll agree, one of my class options would be a great way to create some charming holiday cards and projects this year. As always, if you have any special requests, please never hesitate to contact me. Hope all of you are staying well and healthy and safe. Thanks for watching. Take care.